Welcome to this week's episode of ServidiOH's. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, ding the bell, and then go to ServidiOH's.com to buy some merch because
merch buying.
you gotta buy that merch now. Boy.
Spend money on Amazon.
Buy it with
Spend money on us, man.
Let's review a trailer here. The movie's probably gonna be trash. I'm gonna watch it biasly because I was a kid, and it is Mortal Kombat 2. Austin, take it away.
I'm surprised it's getting a sequel based off of the fact that the first one that they didn't necessarily do that well critically. It was during the time of straight to streaming video releasing, almost the death of movie theaters. But I think they realized the moment you release something to people to watch directly at home, the viewership actually goes down, and the attention span actually just goes completely out the window. And I've noticed that when they were streaming movies, so many times I would like get people together to come watch this movie because it just came out. They're just looking at their phones, just dilly-dallying, not even paying attention to it. But what I'm getting at is, I don't think Mortal Kombat 2 is going to be anything monumental. I think it's barely going to get up to 50% on Rotten Tomatoes. They're really going to have to do something big to get this story interesting. They just really lost me with that last one that they made, and I hope, based off of the cool things that they were showing off in this trailer, you know, we've got Johnny Cage, as well as Baraka. I always thought Baraka was really cool, so it's going to be really neat to see. But as far as like a life-changing film experience, I don't think it's going to be anything to go crazy for. I don't think it's going to change the cinema industry. It's gonna at least make its budget. Let's just say that. It'll probably make back its budget and enough to get the studio to be like, hell yeah, we can technically keep going, because that is the issue with movies. If you didn't know that, which people aren't realizing this. If a movie sucks and they announce a sequel, don't go pay for the sequel and then get mad when you paid for it and it sucks and it still made enough money to get another one. And that's all that studios care about, is making money. And that's why half the movies are shit these days. It's because they know they don't have to put much effort into the story, because they're just going to wow you with all these pretty colors and special effects and get your money. They're baiting you pretty bad too.
Yeah, well, they're gonna bait me because I'm gonna watch the film.
Yeah.
But you know what? I probably won't I won't go to the theater for it. I actually liked the first one that they did. I wouldn't say this goes down in my movie books like, oh, that's a top film. It was just fun because nostalgic. You know, like it's nostalgic.
It's got a very large cult following these days. It's a cult classic. So.
Yeah. And Carl Urban. You know what from that trailer. He's basically like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, as Carl Urban playing Johnny Cage. Like, did you even see the trailer?
I saw bits and pieces. I didn't watch the full thing. It's just like scrolling through Facebook, they'd show the like, watch the full trailer, but they were just still showing other clips. So I've seen chunks and bits, and I've seen the way he acts. I like him as an actor. I think he's cool, but I get what you mean, man. He's one of those people in Hollywood that looks like a doppelganger of another actor, but is an entirely different person. Like people somehow getting Jesse Eisenberg and Michael Cera confused.
Really?
Yeah, there was a thing like back in the day.
I didn't know that.
There was like a thing back in the day where like people would like somehow mistake the two, and I think Jesse Eisenberg even was like, how the hell?
Yeah.
How the hell do we even sound and or look?
Okay, all right, so our last episode we talked about Superman and Lex Luthor. You didn't like that Lex Luthor. Pick one though. Eisenberg or this guy?
Oh God, they're gonna hate me for this. I'm gonna go with Eisenberg.
Whoa!
And the reason that I say it is because, yeah, he kind of had a bit of a like.
You said he was like Mickey Mouse. You're like,
yeah, he was very, but he had he still, it was something about his look and the way he was bald. As weird as that sounds, like bald Eisenberg looked menacing. It's just looking at the newer Lex Luthor, it looks like he just shaved his head to shave his head. Like he didn't even, like, that's the thing about him, is like he wasn't a convincing bald guy.
Yeah, he actually was.
He didn't, like, as weird as it sounds, like, he just, to me, wasn't a convincing bald dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the baldness looked fake. It was like CGI baldness.
It was CGI bald.
But it wasn't. That's just how it was to me.
Yeah.
I think think Eisenberg, especially at the end with him in like prison and stuff, he looked badass.
He looked like a cool Lex.
Badass. So I think that Lex Luthor, I'll take that one.
Okay.
I'll take Eisenberg.
Oh, okay. So I guess let's close out the Mortal Kombat 2 thing. Are you gonna see it? Are you gonna go to the theater and watch it?
No.
No.
Probably not. I'll wait till it comes out on sale digitally and just buy it. Oh, and speaking of that, Microsoft, how dare you get rid of movies and TV? I've been buying shit left and right on there, building my own personal collection because I think paying for multiple streaming services is a fucking scam, and then you just go and fucking get rid of it to try to force me to subscribe to these streaming services. Fuck you.
Damn, sounds like they should have been the jabroni.
Well, now they are.
Yeah, you're a jabroni.
Shit,
You know we didn't announce it.
Double jabroni now.
Double jabroni.
You bastards.
Double jabroni. The next one, so all right, this is gonna get these like, especially like millennials and like people older, they're gonna be biased about this one. If you brought Bruce Lee back in his prime today, would he be a UFC champ or would he get his ass beat by the weakest person in the UFC?
So I think with this question comes the mentality of, do you think he's just going to go into the UFC doing the same type of fighting styles that he currently did? I think no. I think he would be smart enough to learn these techniques and different fighting styles, jiu-jitsu, boxing, the Muay Thai, all that shit. I think he would incorporate it all. I think he would actually become a very interesting fighter, and I think for his time, maybe he could have been a champ. But that all depends on if he was really here or not. But I think he had the capabilities of becoming a champion. The only thing I could see is people would probably bring that up, thinking that he's gonna go into the octagon only doing Bruce Lee shit. I guarantee you he'd still incorporate some of that shit. It'd be cool.
Yeah.
But it's not gonna be his main fighting style. There's gonna be tons of stuff that he's gonna learn, and I think he would utilize to become an ultimate fighter, because the whole point of being in the UFC isn't to go in with one fighting style. It's to incorporate multiple fighting styles into one fight.
Yep.
And that's the whole point of it.
100%. And like maybe I should have clarified, like the question is like, if we just zap Bruce Lee back in his prime and put him in an octagon, do you think he would make his way to being a champ?
I mean, he's not going to win his first fight. I'll tell you that. He's going to take some L's, but it's going to be that thing of he's going to take on that learning curve. If you really poofed him in there and we're like, all right, Bruce, kick some ass, and then he goes in there and he starts getting messed up, a lot of people don't like to admit this or they like look over it, but he was a pretty humble guy. So I feel like if he was getting his ass handed to him, he would be humble about it and be like, hey, look, this guy's a little too, you know what I mean? He's got the goods, man, and it would be more respect. If he lost, it would be very respected. But it all depends. It depends. I think if you put him in the cage with Conor McGregor, like right now, no training, nothing, I think McGregor would just, in a rage of cocaine, destroy him.
Yeah, well,
all due respect saying that, of course.
You know, I always thought he was a humble guy, and then Quentin Tarantino was talking about like a lot of interviews.
Pick on, and it was because he would pick on stuntmen, which I get it. Stuntmen to Bruce, stuntmen weren't, from what I've heard, it was like he would pick on the stuntmen because he didn't think they were at the same caliber as him. But then I heard Bruce Lee's daughter clapping back at Tarantino, saying that he actually didn't act that way, and that wasn't true. So it's one of those back and forth, believe who you want to believe. I'm going to go with the daughter, man. I mean, when you got a guy that's like, life is like water, you must be like water. You know what I mean?
Life is like what?
He's got a sense of humility and of peace. So I don't think he's one of those guys that would go out of his way to treat others badly. They probably would have had to do something to him, or maybe those guys were like, oh, you think you're tough shit, Mr. Bruce Lee? And then he was like, all right, well, come here, I'll show you how fucking tough I am. Maybe it was one of those situations. Because I've noticed in history, if somebody gets their ass beat or embarrassed, they'll tell the story like the guy that was sticking up for themselves is the bad guy. Hashtag tons of people in Hollywood that have been canceled.
My opinion, if they poofed him into an octagon and like he had no prior training, being Bruce Lee with the Bruce Lee skills he has, I think he would get embarrassed and his ass handed to him by the weakest person in the UFC. Now, if you were like, if he was born in, I don't know, 1999 and trained in MMA, I think he'd be a prominent UFC fighter. And as far as champ, I still don't even know if he would be a champ because, like, of his size, there's a lot of hard hitters that are his weight class that I still think would pummel Bruce Lee.
Ah, dude, even though the guy had muscle mass, dude, Mighty Mouse.
Mighty
He
Mouse.
was tiny as shit and was a champion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mighty Mouse is insane.
So it all depends, man. I would really like to see that. It'd be cool for A24 to make that into a movie. I'm sure it's already in the works.
Comment below. What do you think would happen if Bruce Lee appeared today and they threw him in the octagon? Would he get smashed, or would he be Bruce Lee, the Bruce Lee that we like love and liked for years and decades from his films? Jabroni of the week. Now, I'm a Zack Snyder fan, but the Jabroni is Zack Snyder fans. Here's why. You guys are so biased, it's stupid. So when the Superman movie was coming out in the trailers, I started seeing these posts on like Facebook and all the social media that were like Snyderverse, and all you did was shit on anything else that wasn't Zack Snyder's work. Now, I could shit all over Zack Snyder's work. I thought Man of Steel was actually his best of you know, for the comics, you know, for superheroes.
I liked the director's cut of Batman versus Superman. I thought that was good.
Wait, I thought it was the director's cut of Batman vs Superman, or was that the
No, there's a director's cut of Batman versus Superman as well as Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
because when Batman versus Superman came out, there were a lot of people shitting on the movie because there were some things cut from the story that weren't shown in the theatrical cut that they ended up adding in to the director's cut, and the director's cut got more praise because of it adding those elements in, which made the story a bit better. It still had those cheesy moments, but as far as movie goes, it was a lot more solid and well put together. Yeah.
Okay. I gotta check that out, man, because
Yeah,
I was actually really let down by the Batman v Superman, because one, they took that armored Batman from a different comic series. That's like supposed to be like when they're like all a little bit older, and Superman got a little bit of pepper, you know, and some gray and stuff like that. Like that comes from a whole different scenario. And then you go ahead and you merge another story, which is Doomsday. That's like a shit ton of comics. I even had the whole like book of that. Like that's where Zack Snyder like really messed up, because like the Russo brothers, you know, they had like this giant 10-year plan. Endgame was like, oh my God, got goosebumps. I got goosebumps right now talking about Endgame. That could have been a shit ton of stories. And then after the death of Superman, then we get 4 more Superman. We got the Man of Steel, we got the Metropolis Kid, the Last Son of Krypton, and the Man of Tomorrow, which is the Cyborg. More stories. He just rushed Batman vs Superman so much and he shit out a bunch of stories all in one film, and it ended. And then I remember me and you were when we first watched it back in the day, like you got pissed because of the whole Martha thing.
Yeah, I mean, but see, the director's cut, man, that's what I like, is that they add
Context.
they add all these other scenes and all this other stuff, this context and things like that. And it's not that I'm not trying to give it like this praise, like it's this next level, it's just so good, but the way that they add these different elements and incorporate these things into the story, it just makes you watch the movie and go, you know what, I like that better. Superman still dies, all this stuff, a lot of stuff still kind of unfolds basically the same, but there's just certain things here and there that plug it all together and literally make it flow into a movie that's not going to have you sit there and pick it all apart.
Yeah, I gotta check it out, because I actually like the Snyder's cut of the Justice League film way better than Joss Whedon. Is it Joss
Whedon.
Joss Whedon. Yeah, like he tried to make it Marvel, but you can't take something that somebody filmed to intend it to be dark and brighten it up and expect it to do something well. But you Snyder fans are biased. Like you guys will just, if he shit on the floor, you guys are like, that's the most coolest shit I've ever seen. Like, because I liked Watchmen. I like a lot of Zack Snyder. I 300.
I love The Watchmen.
Me too.
Love that movie.
I liked 300. Like, I mean, what's that Punch Girl one? That was retarded.
Oh, Sucker Punch?
Sucker Punch. I still watched it because it was actually fun to watch, but like it was kind of cringy. But anyways, you Zack Snyder people, you're overboard about it. Enjoy a good movie when you see one. Don't be biased, because you're just like making yourself look like shit, and you guys are the jabroni of the week.
Well, yeah, and the last thing to add to that, man, is where was all this support when the movies needed it the most?
Yeah.
That's the big thing, is like you're sitting there and you're giving all this praise now, but it's like, where was it when it needed it? I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate that. It just seems like stuff fails and then all these people come up and get mad about it because they don't want to continue it. And it's like, you are the support. You are the backbone. It failed because you're putting your money into the dumber things. Like it failed because you're not supporting it until it's too late. Stop supporting things when it's too late. That's humanity's problem. You don't give a shit until it's too late. So stop it. Jabroni.
That's it for this episode. Again, make sure you like, subscribe, share, ding the bell. Go to the ServidiOH's.com to get yourself some merch because you look lame right now and you need a dope ass outfit.
Oh, lame gritchin ass.
Tell them. All right, and you didn't see this now.
Get out of here.
You want to buy the merch? Get it now. Get it all. Get a hoodie. Look goody in the mall. Now you roll up on the mob looking good like you bought all the stock in the shark when you show 'em what you got.
Hey man, where'd you get that shirt?